Hi, I'm Marissa Kozlov. Welcome back for another eMarketer Industry Voices, where we bring you perspectives on how marketers are working through challenges and what they envision for the future. Joining me today is David Sandstrom, CMO of Buy Now, Pay Later solution Klarna. David, great to have you here.
Great to be here.
David, Buy Now, Pay Later has surged in popularity. We estimate that almost 60 million people in the US will use a Buy Now, Pay Later service in 2022. Which market factors have contributed to Klarna's success?
Well, I think at the core of it, I think it's basically just a mass move away from old, almost predatory credit card companies towards a new, better alternative way of paying for things. Right? I think the fact that credit card companies have almost screwed over an entire generation with bad terms and conditions, shady interests, and shady business models have made people just leave that industry at scale, and that is what we're seeing basically.
Seems like some of those companies have really left a bad taste in consumers' mouths, and this is something that's new and fresh and exciting, especially for a younger demographic. Which retail categories have you seen to be most popular for buy now, pay later solutions?
We started out a lot in fashion and apparel. It lends itself very well to those average order values, to that kind of purchase behavior. But now, over time, especially during and after the pandemic, we've seen Buy Now, Pay Later really expand into almost every single category available: electronics, travel, subscription nowadays as well. This is not category specific, this is more a new consumer behavior that we're seeing.
We just talked about the overall number of users in the US using buy now, pay later services. Klarna's US numbers recently topped 20 million. That accounts for almost half of all buy now, pay later users to date. I mean, those are some pretty huge numbers. How does interest and use differ among generations?
I think although we see a bigger representation amongst Gen Z and millennials when it comes to buy now, pay later, I think the product offering itself actually spans across demographics and across generations. It's way more about consumer behavior and a want for a fairer, better consumer product than it is about age or sex.
Well, let's talk about the marketing messaging. We remember that the initial campaign was focused on what's the catch, more about building trust. That's now moved into the practicality of using Klarna for everyday use. Tell us about the evolution of your approach.
A lot of what we did in the beginning was to grab attention for a new way of paying for things online. As we all know, payments aren't the sexiest industry in the world. We don't get a lot of free attention. So in the beginning of our journey and of our adventure, we had to create marketing that really grabbed it, was attention grabbing. Now that we see the mass adoption of buy now, pay later, now that it is one of the hotter industries in the world, we don't need that same attention anymore. So we can much more focus on the value that we create and really harvest and take advantage of the attention that we're already getting. And that is also being reflected in our marketing strategy. So it's way more about how you use Klarna, the value we can actually deliver to you as a customer, why it's better than the old incumbent alternatives. So, yeah, our marketing strategy has really shifted in the last year.
About 75% of all companies selling direct to consumer will offer subscription services by 2023. That is a trend that Klarna has really responded to. Tell us more about your new product enhancement and how have you been promoting this?
If we look 5 years back, subscription services were a category in itself. Nowadays, everyone is offering subscription services. Subscription services is a part of almost every DTC company. So it feels kind of natural for us to expand our offering to that kind of payment service as well. Customers will be able to pay off subscriptions with our payment plans and with our payment models, such as Pay in 4, which is really something that we've seen a huge inbound request from both consumers and from merchants that work with us. Almost every time that we launch new products, we utilize our own customer network. So we're closing in on 100 million customers globally, 21 million customers in the US. So that is really by far our strongest marketing channel. So we're introducing new products to our own consumers first, and then we go out more broadly.
Okay, well, you mentioned merchants. Klarna works with merchants to make buy now, pay later readily available. This is a crowded space. There are other buy now, pay later solutions. The credit card companies are getting in the game with their installment opportunities. How do you position Klarna and its offerings to new and prospective merchant partners, and what differentiates your products versus others?
So I think what's interesting with Klarna is that it's way more than just a payments provider. The payment is really a way to establish trust and a relationship with a consumer. But beyond that, we've really become really good at driving traffic, creating incremental sales, connecting consumers with brands in a new and fresh and interesting way. So beyond our payment products, we've really turned into a growth partner for our merchants and retailers. And that is something that's been very appreciated by the market.
David, it sounds like you have so much going on already. Tell us what's next for Klarna in 2022.
So at Klarna, we're betting big on in-store. If we look at the numbers, I think online commerce still accounts for only 10% of the entire market of the GMV. So there's a huge potential for Klarna and our competitors to expand the buy now, pay later services and features into the in-store product.
Sounds like you have great things up your sleeve for the year ahead. Thank you so much for being with us today, David, for sharing these stories and for really being such an inspiration, especially in the buy now, pay later space.
Perfect. Thanks for having me.
And thanks to all of you for tuning in to Industry Voices. We'll see you soon.